What if the story you learned in school about who found America is completely backwards? We all know the tale of Christopher Columbus, the man from Italy who sailed for Spain with 3 tiny ships in 1492. He was looking for a shortcut to places known for their spices and riches, but he accidentally bumped into a Caribbean island. It's the moment we're told the Old World and the New World finally met. But what if that meeting had already happened long before? What if the map of the Americas had already been drawn by someone else 200 years earlier? This isn't a story about Europe. This is a story about Africa. It's about a king so rich and so powerful, but so desperate to learn what was in the great unknown that he left his incredible throne behind. His name was Mansa Abubakar II, and he was the leader of the Mali Empire, a place in West Africa of almost unbelievable wealth and advanced learning. His story was buried for centuries, but it hints at a truth that turns history on its head. Africans may have reached America 2 centuries before Columbus. To get why this matters, you have to picture this African kingdom not as a simple village, but as the superstar country of its day. Back in the 1300s, this empire was a giant. It was like a powerful company that controlled all the gold, the salt, and the trade routes. Its famous city, Timbuktu, wasn't a dusty ruin. It was a buzzing hub of smart people, an ancient version of a world-class university town where they studied the stars, math, and law. This city was the bright, shining proof of how advanced this empire was. And all of this was paid for by gold. Mali had so much gold, it was like the bank for the whole part of the world. Their gold traveled everywhere, making kings in other lands rich. The ruler of Mali, called the Mansa, was quite possibly the richest person on the planet. One of their later kings, Mansa Musa, went on a trip and spent so much gold in the cities he visited that he broke the economy, like someone showing up and spending so much money that the price of everything goes through the roof for years. But our story isn't about him. It's about the king before him, a man named Abubakar, who wasn't hungry for more money. He was hungry for answers. Abubakar had it all. He had the palaces, the poets, the musicians, everything. But he was bored with what he knew. His kingdom was a land of deserts and rivers, but to his west was the huge Atlantic Ocean. Most people thought of it as a dangerous, endless watery desert filled with monsters. But Abubakar saw it as the biggest question mark on the map. He needed to know what was on the other side. The smartest people of his time told him the ocean was a dead end, but Abubakar trusted science over scary stories. He had learned from his scholars about old ideas that another land might be out there. He had probably heard from traveling merchants about strange wood from unknown trees washing up on faraway beaches. His brain wouldn't let the question go. Was the ocean truly empty? So he decided to do something crazy. He wouldn't just send a little fishing boat to look. He would send a massive armada, a floating city of hundreds of giant carved-out canoes equipped with sails. He packed these boats like you would pack for a very, very long trip, enough food, water, and supplies to last for 2 years. He sent soldiers, farmers, builders, and wise men. This wasn't just a quick look. It was an attempt to move a little piece of his civilization across the sea. The first fleet set sail. The whole kingdom came to watch, their hearts full of hope and fear. The ships, loaded with dreams, sailed over the curve of the earth and vanished. Then they waited and waited. Weeks became months. 1 year passed, then 2. No one came back. Not a single ship. The great adventure had turned into a great tragedy. The empire was heartbroken. Everyone assumed the ocean had swallowed them whole. For any normal king, this would be the end, a very expensive and sad lesson. But Abu Bakr was not a normal king. The loss of his first fleet didn't stop him. It made him more determined. He became convinced they hadn't drowned. He believed they had found something amazing, a new land, and simply couldn't come back. So he made a decision that shocked everyone. He wouldn't send a second fleet. He would lead it himself. Imagine the CEO of the world's most successful company quitting his job to personally lead a mission into deep space, knowing he'd probably never come back. That's what he did. He gave up his crown, his power, and his safety for a question. He built an even bigger fleet with 400 ships. He put his cousin in charge of the empire, stepped onto his flagship, and sailed west into the great blue unknown. He sailed off the edge of the map and into legend. He was never seen in Africa again. For hundreds of years, that was the whole story. A king who sailed away and vanished. A cool myth, but not real history. But then, detectives of the past started finding clues, and these clues were not in Africa. They were in America. In deep jungles in Brazil, explorers found strange marks carved into caves. For a long time, no one could read them. Then, an expert saw that these marks looked exactly like the ancient writing from the very same African kingdom Abu Bakr ruled. It was like finding a message in a bottle, but carved in stone, thousands of miles from home. That was just the start. Near the island where Columbus first landed, divers found what looked like the broken remains of very old ships. With them were metal spear tips made in the style of West Africa from that exact time period. And the native people there had old stories told to their children about black men who had come from across the sea in ships long, long ago. The most mind-blowing clues are in the words and the plants. A word for a boat in the language of Abu Bakr's people is kulu. An ancient civilization in Central America, the Olmecs, had a very similar word, kulu, for a boat. Is that a coincidence? Maybe. But there are other words that match too, like words for a powerful spirit. It's as if the languages shared secrets. Then there's the sweet potato. It's a plant that originally came from the Americas, but it was found growing in West Africa before Columbus was even born. How did it get there? The best guess is that someone brought it back. This all makes sense when you look at the ocean. Think of the Atlantic currents not as a chaotic mess, but as a giant, natural moving sidewalk. It starts on the coast of West Africa and slowly, steadily carries ships all the way to the coast of Brazil. The trip would take about 1 to 2 months. For a fleet prepared for a 2-year journey, that trip was not just possible, it was almost guaranteed.
So, let's put the pieces together. Abu Bakr's giant fleet catches this oceanic moving sidewalk. They sailed for weeks under the stars. Then, a sailor shouts the most beautiful word in any explorer's language, land. They have reached Brazil. They meet the people there. They trade, they share knowledge, they leave their writing on the stones. And Abu Bakr, the king who gave up everything for knowledge, never goes home. He finds his answer. This means that when Columbus arrived in 1492, the native people he met might have been telling him stories about the other visitors who had come before, the ones from Africa. Columbus even wrote in his journal that the natives had gold-tipped spears and talked about people from lands to the south and east. He saw that they were already using advanced methods for finding gold in rivers, methods that were identical to the way people in Mali did it. The story of Abu Bakr II is a reminder that history is written by the winners, and for a long time, the winners were Europe. This story challenges us to see the past as a much bigger, more connected place. It's about a human desire to explore that exists in all of us, no matter where we are from. An African king had the same burning curiosity as any European explorer. So, did the African king who gave up his throne successfully cross the ocean and discover a new world? The clues are all there, whispering yes. But his final fate, his final resting place, remains one of history's greatest secrets, lost to the jungle and the sea. What do you believe? Did he find his new world, or did the ocean claim him after all? Comment, new world or tragic loss?